Let's go over the easiest way to move in a tenant. The easiest way to move in a tenant is going to the top of your search bar and typing in move in. As you can see, under tasks, move in tenant pops up. Go ahead and hover over that and click move in tenant. Once you head there, you will see that you can add your tenant in to a property so that we can go ahead and get them started with the ability to pay rent and pay their security deposits. So you'll go ahead and fill this out as thoroughly as possible so that all of the tenant information is listed. If the tenant is a company, you'll go ahead and add that there. And again, you can use the use company name as display if needed. Next, you'll go down and type in the tenant's phone number. We recommend using mobile, as on AppFolio, you will have the option to text your tenants. So go ahead and type in your mobile number. The email for the tenant, and the move-in date. After that, go ahead and click on Add Tenant. If there's more than one tenant in the unit, you'll go ahead and add any additional tenants here. Please note, the first tenant is always going to be the primary tenant. So if there are any children or people on the lease that will not be financially responsible, please keep in mind the first person that you enter will always be financially responsible in the system. The second and third people will be ones that you can label differently as financially responsible, other occupant, or co-signer. So just keep that in mind. So we recommend using the primary tenant as the first entry and then any additional tenants as the second. So if this was a child, we would mark it other tenant. We would put in here their name. If there's a phone number or an email, you can add it. More than likely, if it's a minor, you won't have that information, just their name. If that is the last tenant, you'll go ahead and just select add tenant and then continue. Now you'll be able to add your tenants to one of your units. So there's a couple ways you can do it. You can browse vacant units here and type in the property information here, or you can go ahead and click in search by unit name and type in the unit that you are moving the tenants into. Once you type it in, you'll see the information pop up here, and you can go ahead and click continue if the correct property has populated. Now you want to go in and add in the lease dates, the move-in date, the start date, and the end date. So go ahead and add those dates in. If this is for a month-to-month lease, you can select that option there, and it'll take away the lease end date. But if it's a traditional lease, just leave that open so you can put your lease end date there. If you'd like to require renter's insurance, you can send this email over to them and it will tell them that they need to provide proof of insurance. Also, you'll have recurring monthly charges, which will be whatever the rent is, and it's usually marked under rental income. So that will pop up here as well. Any other policy details will pop up, all of your charges. Now, there is an option for a prorate. So let's say the rent is starting on the 15th as opposed to the first of the month, then you can click on prorate this rent and it will prorate. You can go in there and add the prorated amount in there, but it will prorate the rent there. It will come up with how much the tenant will owe at move-in. Once move-in is completed, the date that it is due, and then what the monthly fee will be thereafter. Once you verify that all of that information is correct, go ahead and select Continue. Now, we do recommend that you go ahead and skip this section as most of you will already have a lease that's been generated. However, AppFolio does have an option for you to generate a lease with templates that are on file. But again, you are welcome to go ahead and upload the lease that you've already generated so that it can be in your AppFolio folder, or you can go ahead and just skip this step altogether here. Please note that if insurance is required on the property, you should select this option so that it will continue to prompt the tenant to submit their renter's insurance. We're going to go ahead and skip this step now for the sake of time. Now we're going to go ahead and finish the move-in. So you'll put in the date that the lease was signed so that we have that on record. Again, all of the information will pop up, the tenant name, the address, the move-in date, all of the move-in fees. You can send a move-in survey if you'd like. And all of the activations for their for like their tenant portals and things of that sort will be there as well. So once all of that is verified as accurate, you can go ahead and click on Done. Once you're done, the tenant page will pop up. As you can see, it'll say if the tenant's portal is active, it'll give you an idea of how much the monthly charges are. It'll tell you how much is due before move-in. It'll tell you if their deposit has been paid yet, or if not. So if it says 0, that means their deposit is not showing paid in the system. Any last receipts, their lease start date, and again, that their portal is inactive. If you scroll down, you'll be able to see all of the information that we entered. This is also where you can go to edit if anything is not accurate. So if the tenant name is incorrect, then you can go ahead and edit here. If the contact information is incorrect, you can go ahead and edit here, and so forth and so on. You'll also see a list of all of the tenants that you entered in for the property under this tab here. So as you can see, it says the tenant name for my test property is here. Any other tenants that would be in there would be here. And again, the status financially responsible. If you enter that incorrectly by mistake, you can go ahead and edit under tenant status. You can see here that the tenant has not activated their portal yet. So if they say they never got the email, you would go here to click on Send Portal Activation Invite, and it will send it to the email that is listed above. There's also a section here where you can see how much the tenant will be charged if they pay with different methods. The free method of payment is by them using an e-check or basically connecting their bank account to their portal so that they have no fees. Feel free to fill out any other information you feel that may be useful. If they submit their insurance policy, that information will be stored here as well. You can also go in and add notes about the tenant, about their any notes that you'd like. You can make the notes private, or you can so that the tenants will not see any of your notes that are here. You also have the option to text the tenants. And so a section down here will populate where you can send texts and where texts have been sent to them. In this tester, the number is not an accurate number, so it's not showing up. But on yours, the number will be valid, so the text messages will show up as sent. Same applies for emails. It will show up who sent it, the date, the name of the tenant, and the subject. In addition to that, you will see any monthly charges or lease information. All of that will be submitted down in the sections below. So feel free to go through them at your leisure. And that's it. Congratulations, you've added a tenant to your portal.